Hello everyone, I'm Brian, and today I'm going to be talking about my Tau versus Necron Game 10. This is a new game. This is actually my list that I kind of picked what I thought were one of the best units, and I decided to try something new. So this is my opponent's list. You can pause if you like. And then my list will come up next. So right here, I have Shadow Sun, and I have a Cold Star battle suit with 4 cyclics. An exemplar of the Karyun, 2 broadsides, again weapon support system, and a secret missile on both of them, and both of them with shield drones. I guess I forgot to equip it on here, but both of them with shield drones. Battle suits with 3 cyclic. The leader of the squad will have a gun drone and marker drone. Gun drone so that if I need to advance that unit, I guess I technically don't need a gun drone here because I can advance and shoot. So I'm used to my old crisis suits. But anyways, if you do run your crisis suits, might as well just sacrifice the leader of this squad to have a gun drone and a marker drone, so that you can spot with them if you need to, and that you can advance and still perform an action. So the basis is basically 3 cyclics, 2 shield drones, and a shield generator per crisis suit. So I have 2 3-man squads. These are my long-range ones that stays back with Shadow Sun to provide, long-range support in terms of shootings. They're capable of taking out light infantry because it's missile pod, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. So that's about 6 shots per crisis suit, and there's 3 of them. So that's what is that? 6, 12, 18 shots. And then of course, if you have Karyun going on in round 3, you have a chance of it being a little bit higher. I have 2 ghost kills, cyclic iron raker, and the fusion blasters just because, both equipped the same. Crude rider for doing actions and holding objectives if I need them. Skyray gunship, absolutely love it. I think they are worth it more than hammerheads at the moment, because hammerheads is 1 shot. If they pass their invols, then well, there goes that shot. 3 stealth suits. Again, the leader of the stealth suit will have the fusion blaster, gun drone, and a marker drone. Again, the reason for the gun drone so they can advance and perform an action if needed. Marker drone so that it gives them the marker light keyword. Even though you can advance with a marker drone and perform the greater good, sometimes you may want to advance and do an action instead. And then a group of Tetras. Alright, let's continue on. So, actually, my Tetris and my Cold Star with the 6-man squad were in reserves. The Crisis Suit and Cold Star were in Deep Strike. Tetris were in reserve. I'm trying to keep the Cold Star and the Crisis Suit were kind of paired up with the Tetris in terms of spotting. So what I do is I roll the hit, I fish for 6s. Any 6s, I put them away, and then roll the whole bunch again. Just roll all of them that didn't roll a 6, and then that'll be the end result of that. Trying to, get more hits out of it. So I do believe, at the moment, it is much better to do Tetris with your hard-hitting units to fish for those 6s for the greater good. Because I think sustained hits too, it's much better than rerolling 1s to wound. Just because if you roll a 6, you get 2 extra hits on top of that one. You have 1 out of 6 chance of getting a 6, but you also have 1 out of 6 chance of getting a 1, but the only thing you get with that 1 is a potential chance of wounding the model. So I think increasing the number of shots is definitely worth it, and I'm wondering about maybe running another squad and maybe another 6-man squad of these. I don't know yet. So far, this seems pretty good. I still need to play around with it a little bit more, but 1 6-man squad with a Tetris and just fishing for 6s seems to be pretty good. Alright. So this is deployment. Hope you like the stuff down here so you know what phase it is. The greens are the number of missiles on them, and that green up there is for my command points. The blue on these things are the shield drones, and the red dice here are just the deployment. Actually, I kind of like this guy. He's holding the door closed and peeking out through the top. That's kind of funny. Heavy destroyers and the big old guy. So this is the end of my round 1. I got a lot of things into position. I had to move these guys over here because of investigate signals, so that's what they did. I had to advance them to get them there. And this, I misplaced this person. I couldn't get to investigate signals over here, so that was a waste. My Kroot over here did investigate signals. That's what he's there for. He didn't need to hold the objective just yet because I had other models there, so he stayed close by to the back for investigate signals. I definitely want more objective units, but I'm thinking these guys could potentially do it. And one thing I didn't realize, and I kind of realized a little bit later on, was these things have marker light keyword. These are Sky Race, by the way, not Hammerheads. Whenever I was playing Tau back in the edition, I don't think they had Sky. They didn't have the Sky Ray thing. They only had the Hammerhead stuff, so no fair. Oh, and these guys are all in the bottom. Actually, I brought these guys up, but in deployment they're all in the bottom. And also the bottom rows are considered to be blacked out. And what I ended up destroying for, I think I had no prisoners, was their swarms over here. So I could get 2 kills of units. So all bottom rows are considered to be completely blocked out. Except for if you can see it from the back, then you can shoot into the building. But in terms of the side or the front, you cannot. And he was teleporting this Necron Warriors over here into this spot to try to take them out. And I got so lucky because of these things are considered the woods. So I got +1 to save because it has AP1 and -1 to hit. And it only took 1 wound out of all those shots. It was really crazy. Oh. And I guess real quick, how the rolls went is he rolled above average on turn 1, and this is a linear drop. On turn 3 it was average, and turn 5 it was below average. So he was rolling pretty good, and he just kept dropping. Mine was slightly above average on turn 1, average on turn 3, and slightly below average on turn 5. So mine was also linearly dropping. My saves were crap, but in terms of overall all roll dice, it was kind of that linear fall. And what I mean by that is 4 and above is considered above average, 3 and below is considered below average. Whether they hit or wound is not what I'm counting, it's just how the rolls were going. So he ended up teleporting this guy over here, destroying my 1 broadside over here. And what else did he do? Did some wounds on this 3-man crisis suits over here. The reason why I moved these out is to bait his heavy destroyers. I got covered because he can't see completely my models, but I need him to be baited out so I can start destroying them and I can start moving out. So he didn't really touch my spotters. I was amazed about that one. That was kind of weird. So as you can see, I had these behind and 1 on top, just so that if they shoot them, I can just wipe out the 1 guy. And I had 3-man here, 3-man here, and my 6-man was still in the deep strike, and the Tetras were in reserves. This is the missile, seeker missile, not a wound damage or anything like that. And he stretches out his Necrons for sure. And these are his heavy destroyers that I did. In fact, I baited him out a little bit, and he popped shots into the to my broadside. I don't think he touched any of my hammerheads. I don't believe there were wounds over there. But he still had 2 more heavy destroyers, and he has a regular destroyer for objective doing. Okay, so this is the end of my round 2. I was moving these guys around. I moved this guy into that warrior blob. I shot into it. I didn't really shoot into it actually. I shot somewhere else because I didn't want to risk making my charge distance longer. So I just ignored them and charged into them. You can see my crisis suit dropped right here. Actually, blew the crap out of this squad, and then I did move, shoot, and move into this area to take over this objective. Dealt some damage to the big guy over here, and again with this ghost kill, I again shot something else and then charge into the squad, because this what my ghost kills are meant for, is to tie up things that can't shoot in close combat and that are strength 4 roughly. Oh, you see the Tetris right here, so they could guide these guys for. It was so many dice rolls, I hated it. So I didn't really lose too much in terms of these. Oh, they took the dice away. So I did take some damage over here. He's at 3 wounds left. And he only has 8 wounds left, this guy. And I did blow out his heavy destroyers up here with my hammerheads. I'm sorry, my sky rays. Sky rays had full rerolls to hit against the heavy destroyers because they are considered to be flying, and the sky rays have full rerolls to hit against flying. They also have an innate built-in reroll for either a hit roll or a wound roll. Because against flying you have full rolls to hit, you save that for the wound roll. And then I use the stealth suits to guide my heavy hitters, because generally speaking they may be wounding on 2s or 3s, but I need the reroll. I need that 1's reroll for free. So tying up that big warrior blob, he teleported them over here, tried to kill them, and only did 1 wound. And then I moved over here, shot at him, and charged into them. Something happens over here that was really unexpected and kind of really screwed me up. So this is the round of Necron's 2.5. 2.5 because the Necron's turn is the bottom of round 2. Again, he surrounded this guy. He looks like he only has 3 wounds left. 1, 2, and 3. He charged my crisis suit with I think this is Cesares. And let's see. Oh, the last 3-man missile pod crisis suit was destroyed when they were recharged with the big green guy. I moved them back because a little afraid there. Yeah, right there. Tied up that squad. There's a Necron Lord there, and I think that's Cesares, and there's another guy up here too. Right now he took over the objective. This middle objective was back and forth. Also, real quick, this objective over here is the Alpha objective. This is the Omega. And for this mission, the Alpha will disappear on turn 4. And then the other objective that's not this one will disappear. So on the turn 5, this will be the only objective left, which will be 15 points. So again, tying the squad up with them. As long as they can't shoot, they don't get lethal hits. He's popping the stratagem that gives them +1 to strength and +1 to AP. And he's struggling to take these guys out because he needs, I think, 3s or 4s to hit, then 5s and 6s to wound if he pops the strat, or 6s to wound if he doesn't. Which I think he gets a free one because that's a Lord. Again, baited out more of the heavy destroyers. Round 3. Woo! A lot of movement there. So I did move out the Kutaks to hold that objective for me. Again, this guy is barely holding on with 3 wounds left. I am amazed he survived this long. And I need him to survive to hold up that warrior blob, because if this breaks free, he can pop them out and shoot my crisis suit, and my save rolls are terrible. So I need that thing to survive. I need my ghost kill to survive there. Let's see what else we have here. Nothing else too much. Oh, yeah, we'll see up here whenever I zoom in, I hope. So, oh, no, he's at 1 wound left with 1 shield drone left. Hang on there, buddy. Yep, 1 wound left and 1 shield drone left. Okay, so the big, he calls him Terry, the Transcendent Catan is now dead officially. And over here, I move my my Sky Ray up here, and then I ram Cesares. So I did some mortal wounds to kill him, to finish him off, but he used the resurrection protocol to bring him back. I also had like a I forgot what it was. Is it Storm Hostile objectives, I believe? Round 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, where I had to kill a unit on the objective, and I killed Cesares, and then he resurrected back on there. Again, holding this guy's up with 8 wounds left, and still have 2 shield drones here. Just Terry gone, and my Shadow Sun that popped the freaking fusion blaster. Still need 5 6s for those because that guy was tough. But I'm moving out these things. You'll see also what happens with this and kind of this a little bit later on. No more heavy destroyers here. Again, with these things getting full rolls to hit and wounding on 2s. Fantastic. And that guy's just still peeking out the window. I was like, man, it's not looking good out there. Alright, so this is the end of Necron round. This dude still survived. He survived the end of my round with still 1 wound left and 1 shield drone. I don't know how. I think he forgot to pop the strat and didn't roll any 6s to wound. Let's see what else we got. Yep, there he goes. That's crazy. He ended up killing another one of my crisis suit. And this is still the Lord here. And Cesarish end up charging back into my crisis suit. And there's that guy actually that was up here came down, decided he wanted to play against my Sky Ray over here. And still tying up the squad. He owns this objective. I think on turn 4 he will. This is 8 points instead of the 5. Our home objectives had no value whatsoever. So he popped this guy out to try to do some shootings. Okay, the end of my round 4. So now you see here, he wasn't surviving much longer. I still need this Necron blob tied up. And that's the reason why I moved my Sky Ray over here and charged them. And I did the tank shock too. Did I do the tank shock? It wasn't really going to do much anyway. So I ended up charging them just because I need them tied up. I can't have them running loose. And being a toughness 10, meaning that when he popped the strat, he still needs 6s to wound. So this makes it even better that he will have a more difficult time wounding my Sky Ray than he does with the Ghost Kill. I'm starting to move these guys forward. I popped them out a little bit because he has 2 shots, strength 7, AP 0, damage 1, just for the giggles of it. These guys are actually on the bottom, and he's on the top, so he could spot because they're infantry. They can just kind of walk forward. So again, Shadow Sun getting into a position where I can give full rerolls to hit of 1 around this area. The reason why I don't have the missile pods here is because this thing sits so low that it kind of pops out a little bit. Again, still tying up the squad, and I think I did pop both my shield drones so that it could still hold and survive over here. I'm moving these guys forward to, if once I get enough firepower over here, I'll make them fall back. Then we can plop and destroy this entire Necron unit. That guy's still peeking out the window. Okay, so end of round of his round, you can see that the Ghost Kill now went bye-bye and caused my caused my Sky Ray I think 2 mortal wounds and him 3. But again, this Necron Warrior is still tied up, so he cannot do anything. And no damage, no real damage. Oh, he's trying to creep over here. Yeah, he fell back. Yeah, he fell back, still wanting to hold this objective and trying to find a way to take over this objective as well, because in round 5, this will disappear and this will be the only objective left. But I'm trying to bring firepower to this to wipe out this squad or bait that resurrection. So this is round 5 and the end of the game, because we kind of talked it out. This, he said, this squad was tied up the entire game and could not do anything. Me being vehicles, I could still fire out a -1 to hit, and this is what's my plan the entire time with my Sky Rays and Ghost Kill, is to tie up squads that suck worse than Tau. Well, that suck in melee, not worse than Tau. Because I hit on 5s, hits on 4s, but because these are they're high toughness, they can't really deal any damage to them. So I'll show you my positioning here. So I position in such a way that there's no way he can take this objective away from me. He only has that little scrap, that little area right there, and I kind of blocked them out. I blocked them in a sense, and then I had all this firepower that's about to go into the squad. Everything was going to go into it because it's the only thing that could take away this objective from me or cause a threat to me. And I moved this guy up a little bit so that I can charge into them again. I feel so bad. But yes, to charge into them, to keep them there and without them moving out, without them fanning out so much. But it ended up being that when we talked it out, it's like, yeah, I'm move blocking you. You can't take this objective from me. This is going to be 15 points for me and me alone. I'm going to fire everything into this squad because it's the only thing that's threatening in terms of taking away the objective or dealing any kind of damage. I baited him. I did some shots with this ghost kill into that squad to bait him to do the resurrection protocol, and he did. And then I was just going to overcharge all the cyclics, fire all the missile pods, and everything into it. I had, I think also I'd cleanse, and this is the only objective left to cleanse because the objective up here is technically not there anymore, and this one just got removed in turn 5. So my Tetris did the cleanse here. Or Shadow Sun, you know, it didn't really matter who did it, but Shadow Sun more than likely, Tetris would guide my Crisis Suit so I can get those rerolls. Alright, essentially that's the game. Again, using Sky Rays, Ghost Kill to hold the squad until I can score points. And now I'll show you the score right here. So this is it. This is our objectives that we got. And supply drop, is that the mission? Oh yeah, and I think the secondary mission was like rain or something like that, where essentially there's no secondary mission besides the primary or whatever that's called. So the only thing we had was just those middle objectives giving you 5 points apiece, and then on turn 4 one would go away, then the 2 that's left is 8 points apiece, and then on turn 5 the center objective will be the only objective left. They'll give you 15. So that's the reason why you see this right here. I had it on turn 4 and then on turn 5. He did pretty good on these turns of holding those objectives. I took the last bit away from him. He kinda was struggling with his secondary. You can clearly see he only got 15 out of 40. I amazingly did pretty good in my secondaries for some odd reason this time around. And that's where I really this last 15 was what really kind of pulled it off, because I'd be at 50 at the moment. But yes, this was a pretty interesting game. I think it was pretty well a good fight, because against our rolls were kind of matching up, even though it's rolling slightly better than me. And the only reason I say that is because he was passing his Feel No Pains and he's also getting his resurrections up pretty well. And then towards the end, he was rolling worse than I was, and I was still rolling, you know, fairly bad, but not as bad as he was. So this was quite a fun game, quite a unexpected event. Primaries are going to be the most difficult for me, because again, the only units that can really push up is going to be the Crisis Suits. The Ghost Kills aren't pushers, but they can tie up units. They can dish out a little bit of a damage and hopefully hold objectives, really, but they can't really blow off units from objectives, and that's the reason why I don't call them pushers. They contest objectives, but not really, because they're only OC3. So yeah. Anyways, that's my 10th game of Necrons. Me and the Necron players are good friends. We show up every day, every Wednesday and Thursdays at the shop, and that's the reason why I'm getting tired of Necrons, but they're a really good army to play against, to see how you handle, in a sense, a horde army. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this one. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.